It is so clearly obvious that Piccolo is the better father when compared to Goku. I mean, Goku goes and wanks off to shirk off his responsibilities while Piccolo is up on Kami's lookout meditating? Hello there, beautiful friends from around the world. I'm going to be your host, Blackenfist, and here I want to really bring an examination of another one of Dragon Ball Z's most prevalent memes, and that is Piccolo really a better father than Goku? And I thought no better way to start this off with probably the biggest criticism that Goku receives. And of course, Goku is always away from his family and away from his sons. Yes, many people grill Goku on this issue, but has anyone ever stopped to think about how much Piccolo has spent with Gohan? Now, before we go into this, obviously Piccolo is not Gohan's father, so he does not have the responsibility that Goku does, because obviously Goku is Gohan's father. But if we are going to say that he's a better father than Goku, then we have to think of him as a father. And that's kind of weird too, because when compared to Goku, Piccolo actually spends less time with Gohan than Goku. I'm pretty sure this is a fact that'll shock a lot of people, and I think the reason it does is because people who just accept these premises really don't think about what they're saying. But if you examine all the time that Piccolo has spent with Gohan, the most time that Piccolo ever spent in the entire series just with Gohan is within 4 months when he was first training him in the Saiyan Saga. That is the most time that we've seen him confirmed in the whole series. Now, if we just go back and turn this around and say that if Goku only spent 4 months of extended time with Gohan, I would wonder how much people would grill him even more for that. Now, there is one other point in the series where you could say Piccolo did spend an extended time period with Gohan, and that was the period when he was training with Goku for the androids. However, we don't know the dynamics of that. All it could have been was Piccolo training with Goku and then going off into the mountains and meditating or doing Piccolo things as he usually does. Not to mention, Piccolo really doesn't have an excuse not to be there. When Goku was away, it was for two main reasons. He's either training because the world is gonna be destroyed in however much time, or he's dead. What is Piccolo's excuse? He's up on Kami's lookout meditating. Once again, I don't see a lot of people really grilling Piccolo for this behavior at all. Another one of the more ridiculous points that I hear a lot of people bring up is that Gohan during the Cell games wore Piccolo's clothing, and therefore that shows that Piccolo is Gohan's true father, and that Gohan sees Piccolo as his own true father, or at least the most prominent father figure that he has in his life. Now, I do feel this is kind of a trivial and silly argument, because we're like boiling down to who's the better father by what clothes Gohan wears. But even if we take this argument seriously, I mean, in the Buu Saga, Gohan did the exact same thing with Goku's clothes, so does that prove that Goku's a good father because Gohan wore his clothes? Not really. Once again, I do find it quite silly, and I guess a more cynical side of me would just say that staunch Piccolo supporters are just grasping at straws. Now, I don't want everyone to get the impression that I don't think Piccolo has a special bond with Gohan. Obviously, he does. It's clearly shown that Piccolo and Gohan do have a very special bond, and in my opinion, outside of Gohan's family, that means his brother, mom, dad, I think Piccolo is probably the closest person that he is towards outside of his own family. And Piccolo does have legitimate moments where he does seem like a legitimate father to Gohan. Now, of course, there's him sacrificing his life for Gohan. Obviously, that's a huge thing. But just to compare it back to Goku, I mean, Goku kind of did that twice. But sacrificing yourself obviously shows how much Piccolo actually cares for Gohan. Besides giving up your own life, which is absolutely enormous, which Goku and Piccolo did both do, there is actually one legitimate moment where I think Piccolo actually outshines Goku, and that is during the Cell games when Cell had him in that lock. Goku was so convinced that Gohan was able to beat Cell because he had seen the hidden power that Gohan possesses when he was training with him in the hyperbolic time chamber. Of course, no one else saw this hidden power, it was just to him, so when Goku was so assured with Gohan's victory, it kind of puzzled everyone else, especially when Gohan was in a very compromised position, but it especially puzzled Piccolo. Despite Goku actually being right about Gohan having the power to destroy Cell, he wasn't actually right about Gohan's mindset, which is actually something that Piccolo got himself. Piccolo said this in his very own words. Gohan is not a fighter. Gohan is not like Goku. He's not like himself. You could almost say this might be Goku's biggest failing because he fails to understand his son to this point. You could say that he was blinded by the fact that he wanted Gohan to beat Cell so bad, that he was so confident in him, but regardless of any of that, he definitely didn't understand the core character of his own son, and Piccolo did. So, at the end of the day, is Piccolo a better father than Goku? Well, the way I've always viewed this is that Piccolo does not have the responsibility of being a father. Guys, by no means am I trying to bash Piccolo in this video when I say that he doesn't spend time with Gohan, because quite honestly, Piccolo doesn't have to spend time with Gohan because Gohan is not his son. Yes, maybe he spends less time with Goku, who is his actual father, but that's because Goku is his actual father. But the whole thing about Piccolo being a better father than Goku, yes, I can maybe take that in a very joking and not serious sense, but if we're gonna overanalyze Dragon Ball, as I do, and overthink things and really get into it, I don't take this seriously at all. And yes, guys, I understand that I'm overanalyzing it, but that's kind of what I do in a lot of my videos. And if I really want to overanalyze this stuff, there is some misperceived things about this whole Piccolo father thing. But at the end of the day, Piccolo doesn't have the responsibility to do the things he did and to understand Gohan on the level that he does. So, for instance, if you're still on Piccolo being a better father, well, you know what? Even though Goku did sacrifice himself 2 times for Gohan, maybe it could be argued that the time that Piccolo sacrificed himself is more meaningful than the 2 times Goku did, because only after 4 months of knowing Gohan, he already formed a bond with him so strongly that he did that. Something that he really didn't need to do. So guys, those are the arguments. That's what I think. I kind of think it's a whole silly question if you really examine the series, but of course, what do you guys think? I'm pretty sure a bunch of people are going to explode in the comments for whatever they think on this issue, but you know what? I gotta say, you know, tackling these like memes of Dragon Ball are really fun. Probably the next one I'm gonna do is the meme on Krillin about why Krillin is always getting ragged on. I'm probably gonna do that one next. But anyway, guys, if you really like this and you enjoy Dragon Ball content, please subscribe to the channel, as I will bring you more informative and thought-provoking Dragon Ball topics as soon as they arrive. So as always, guys, I'm Blackenfist, and I'm out.